Hi everybody. I thought I would come on and show you a little glimpse of my trash stash. And if you don't have a trash stash and you're an aspiring mixed media artist, then you need to be thinking about some new things for your trash stash. If you're going to make something like this, where you need a lot of different interests, a lot of different layers of things, then you need some tools. And we are going into the gift giving season, and you're going to be opening up packages, and you're going to find all kinds of interesting packaging. And when you have a trained eye, then you can kind of figure out that's going to make a very interesting design, interesting mark. And so I've got all my stuff laid out on my table, and I'm going to turn you down and we're going to start seeing what kinds of things that I like to use. And I bet you're going to find some things that you really like to use that maybe I never even thought of before. All right, so we're going to turn you down here, and I have all these things. So one of the things that I think is kind of an interesting thing, maybe I need to move you a little bit, I think. Sorry. Okay, so that way I can see. Hey, Sue. But when you start looking around at things, pretty soon you're like, well, that'll make an interesting mark. And a lot of times sometimes I get a big puddle of paint. Sometimes I paint it on there. But does anyone know what this is? This is an ink cartridge container where the ink came in. And it makes, that was a terrible example, but it makes a very interesting rectangular shape if you get enough paint on it. Actually, I kind of like it just like that. It doesn't even need a whole lot more. Or you can go to the other side and you can have this part, or you can do the rectangular. This is a square, really. And you can do that. See, isn't that interesting? Sometimes I use paint, sometimes I use a archival ink pad. So it just depends on whatever it is, what you're doing. But I have like this chain, and you drag that through the paint and put it on there. It makes kind of a mess, but I'll kind of show you what kind of a design it makes. And you can just blot it on there and you get little dots. Things like this, these are just little caps that are on everything you have in your bathroom and makes a nice little perfect circle. And I'm going to try to clean these a little bit as I go so that I don't have a colossal mess. This is the top of a deodorant. You know how you have to roll it up before you can actually use it? So this is actually, and I like it because it's got the, it's a nice shape, but it's also got the little handle on there. So perfect for that. What else do I have on here? Cutlery. Cutlery makes an interesting mark. I have all kinds of tops. This is the top on a cat treat. This is a tennis ball can. All kinds of tools, like I think these are cake making tools. And so you can kind of make like a line, a dot. This one's kind of fun. See, it's kind of rounded, and you can just kind of roll it and make certain shapes like that. This one I haven't used yet, but it's a spice container, and I'm having an idea that I can do that and get those circles, but I haven't tested that one out yet, so I don't know. Here is a bottle cap. I think I'm going to need a little more paint. So there's just so many things. I mean, everything will make some kind of a mark, right? I'll spread that around a little bit. And so I'm going to get the shape of this bottle cap right here. I'm going to put it in there. Isn't that interesting? I love this one. This is a little, I don't know, it was a toy from my daughter's childhood. I think it was Play-Doh. I think it might have been a gear or something, where it might actually have been for mark making in the Play-Doh, but it makes a really cool design. And I took a little holiday pick that you are supposed to use on your charcuterie board, and I glued it in there so that I had a nice handle that makes my life easier. This is one of those little gloves that you wash yourself with, and it sort of can give you an interesting design. I think that's about it over here. Oh, I have this. I don't tend to use that in paint. It is better in like clay or something, but this is actually for the kitchen to, what is it called when you, let's see, cube, when you cube meat. This is another little tool that I made, and it's some kind of a piece of a toy, I think. But I'm sure that you can find a little top or something. And I just glued it to a chopstick. And I use this one a lot because it makes perfect little small circles just like that. Very, very nice. Let's see. I do sometimes, so I have a variety of shapes, of sizes of circles. I mean, there's just, circles are one of my favorite shapes. And so I just have all kinds of circles. These are like cookie cutter type things. This is a natural sponge, and you have to wet it first and then put it in there. Of course, that'll give you an interesting shape. Here are some more circles. There's a tiny little top. And of course, you can use a splonger to make your circle. Oh, gosh, I have so many circles. So sometimes I use like a balloon. You just fill it up so that it's round on the bottom. Put it in your stuff, in your paint, and stick it around. See? Very interesting. And you can, if you look at that real close, it almost has like a little print, like a fingerprint in it. So that's sort of fun. This also is another Play-Doh toy, and you do have to kind of get a lot of paint on it, but then you just roll it right down the thing. Isn't that great? It's so fun. So go to Goodwill, find all these little toys or whatever. This is the little holder you put a birthday candle in, but it also has a perfect little hole, a perfect little handle. So same thing, you can make some great little circles with that. It's almost the same size, so that might not be, but you might not be able to find that little toy that I had, but you certainly can find a birthday candle thing. This is just an impression, just another toy. There we go. And I use sometimes spoons. You can just make a swoosh with a spoon. I found this the other day and I thought, oh, how great. I can make very large rectangles with. This is just an old phone case that I don't even have the phone anymore. It doesn't fit it. So, and you don't have to go all the way around. You can just do part of it. Let's see, what else do I have? This is a real craft supply. You do have to have more paint. Like if you had extra paint and you just swooshed it across your page, then you can put this down through it and make a design. See, and they have all different little teeth, and this is a swirly thing. So that's super fun. I have used doilies as kind of like a stencil. Use all paint. Gotta have some. And of course, this is just a makeup sponge. And like with any stencil, you don't want a whole bunch of paint on there, but just enough. And you press it down so that it goes through, and there we go. And then you get a design. Perfect. I brought this home the other day. I thought, oh my gosh, this is going to make such a nice design. This is just lace that has little flowers on it. You find this kind of stuff everywhere. I mean, everywhere. Here's a pop top. Makes a very interesting design. This one definitely needs a handle, and I have not done that yet, but when you get started, it sort of looks like a pop top, but then if you add a bunch and you start using mixed media all over, then it doesn't look so much like that. Here's a little locket key, also on a chopstick. Just makes it easier for me and makes a nice little impression. And I have a birthday. This was a sign that came on a cake, you know, and sometimes I'll paint the whole thing and put it right on there. And of course, one of my favorites is bubble wrap. And you can just put that right on there. Ta-da! I use bubble wrap a lot, and there's a lot of different sizes of bubble wrap. This was something new that I haven't tried yet either, but this actually, my cat's food came in here where they were in slots like this, and I thought not only would this make an interesting design, but I'm thinking if I use this when I'm doing a pour, like acrylic pour, it'll come down in these little furrows, and I think it'll make a very interesting design. This is, I think it's Punchinella, right? And same thing. You use it like a stencil. Ta-da! Makes a fabulous design. And some of these things, this is like a potato bag. You can see where I've been using it here. I also found this ribbon that has, you know, wide open spaces. I haven't tried this one yet either, but this was on my Thanksgiving turkey. So we'll see. I've been interested to see if it will make an interesting, or just make nothing, you know, it's so fine. But, oh yeah, I can kind of see a pattern in there. You see? That's cool. I'll show you what this potato sack makes as well. And you really have to kind of hold this one down because it also is very fine, and it will move around, but look at that, y'all. It's fantastic, right? So there's just an endless number of things that you can use. Lastly, we're gonna use this one. I don't know if I have enough paint to make it happen. You know, we just don't waste paint around here, do we? All right, so this is just cardboard and makes a very nice impression. So these are the things that I use to make marks on my artwork like this, in addition to a paintbrush or my fingers or whatever. But I do tend to have some favorite stamps as well. I do have a bunch, but these are my absolute favorite ones. You will see these elements in most of my art. And I use this butterfly a lot. I have some numbers that are important to me, and so I use those. I have this little block with this tiny little stamp, and I just got that at the Dollar Tree. I mean, they have some really cute and interesting stamps there. And lastly, this is my other favorite stamp. I use this in my stuff a lot. This daisy and this daisy. So I'll let you in on my secrets. So let me come up here and talk to you. So while you're opening your, hey Carol, Sandy, hey. So while you're opening your holiday gifts, be looking for this packaging. Oh, I didn't use this one yet either. This had a pin in it. So I'm gonna stick that in there too. So that's just a lot of things, a lot of interesting things, and a lot of interesting shapes that you can be accumulating, and we're gonna be using a lot of that stuff in the next coming year, okay? So I just wanted to jump on quickly, show you a few things, and I'll be back at 2 o'clock so we can get having a conversation about some things that are coming up, okay? I'll see you then.